guys introduce yourselves and just talk about your business?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Finn, and this
I'm
is
Nick.
and we got a business called Steady Harvest, and we manufacture and install high tunnels and greenhouses.
Like you see here.
Yeah.
We often call them high tunnel greenhouses because it kind of blurs the lines of what is a high tunnel, what is a greenhouse. You know, it depends on what you grow in here, how you grow, what covering you choose. You know, everything kind of gets blurred a little bit, but season extension structures at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what kinds of, so you said that they kind of blur the line. So I see that you have this, this is what I have as well, or something similar on my high tunnel.
Yeah.
What other options do you have other than like the heavy duty plastic cover?
This covers a 10 mil Sola scrim, and so it's got this kind of woven floss and stuff in it, and that's what we use as kind of our standard covering.
Nice.
But then we've also got hooked up with this company out of Oregon they're owned by a parent company named Adapt 8, but they manufacture this material called Solex, and it's this fluted double layer it's on the other one over there, but it's this fluted double layer cover that's way more insulative than poly and lasts a lot longer than poly. So like this is a 4-year warranty, and then the Solex is 10.
Nice.
And this has an R value of 0.75.
I think 0.8.
0.8.
Close enough.
Close enough.
And then the Solex, it comes in 2 different thicknesses, and it's either like 2.1 or 2.3 for the thicker one. So quite a bit of a difference. And they both have additives that help block, the harmful UV rays we have here at high elevation, and have like anti-condensation treatments on the inside as well.
Yeah.
And the Solex is, it's kind of an alternative to the polycarbonate that a lot of people use, but it's shadowproof, it doesn't yellow over time, and it creates more of a diffuse light because it is kind of this opaque white material, so helps eliminate hot spots and shadows and keep all the plants happy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've at the Colton Garden. I know that they use Solex there. I've seen it before. And I hadn't been familiar with it before. I like how flexible it is.
Yeah.
You can use it for a lot of applications.
Yeah. It's such a cool material.
Yeah. Very neat.
Yeah.
And we are some of the only people that put Solex on metal structures. Most people use PVC and wood.
Right. That was another thing I wanted to mention, because I'll get some photos of this to include, but this is a very well reinforced high tunnel greenhouse.
Yeah, very.
Usually when I see kits, I talk with people a lot, they'll go to Harbor Freight and they'll buy a greenhouse kit, and it'll last for maybe a year, maybe not even a windy spring in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
And I know you guys do this like all through northern Arizona, right?
Yep.
But we have harsh conditions.
We do.
Yeah, we're designed, to last out here in Kendrick Park, obviously, so we can install all over Arizona, as well as the DIY kits all over the nation. If someone wants one, we can ship them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely overbuilt just for that peace of mind, and we want to make a structure that's a platform for anybody to use whatever their challenges are, and something that'll last a lifetime.
We like to think like we're giving someone the marble to carve the Michelangelo's David.
Oh, nice. I like that.
It's like if you're down south and need shade cloth in the summer, like you can put that on here. If you're, up in a place like this, a lot of snow, a lot of wind, Solex, you can run heat, you can grow in the ground, you can grow in pots, you can grow on hanging benches. It's really a platform for anybody to use and have success with.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great way to express it. Because there's a lot of potential for greenhouses. I know I don't do a whole lot of winter growing, but my dad lives in the greenhouse in the winter because he likes to be outside. So multi-purpose. You can have it as an outdoor space in the winter.
Yeah. I mean,
got that hammock up behind the
degrees. You can hang out in here all day.
Right. It gets nice and warm.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess you talked about the importance of using a structure like this, but in northern Arizona, I guess, at least I feel like if you're serious about growing, you kind of need season extenders.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need to go this big, but if you want to produce a decent amount of food, I feel like this is something that you need to invest in, and you don't necessarily need a huge greenhouse space.
Right.
You can grow a lot in this, but why it's briefly, if you could discuss why it's important to have season extenders.
Yeah. Well, one, I think, saying it's an investment is like spot on. Like, we are at a higher price point than some other, like a Harbor Freight kit or something, but it's going to last a lifetime, just changing the coverings every now and again.
Right.
But yeah, we have such a short growing season and such different microclimates all around the Flagstaff area. Like, I've heard numbers thrown out that Baderville is technically only like a 30-day growing season.
Yeah, I've heard that
and
too.
We're even higher and farther out and kind of in this storm shadow, so you need something like this to really grow anything for a good part of the year.
Right.
Like, we have such infrequent frosts, or unpredictable but frequent frosts.
Right.
And yeah, it really helps you be able to grow precisely too. Like, if you're in a climate that maybe frost isn't your biggest issue, but you're trying to conserve water, you can actually meter with drip irrigation or something what you're putting into your crops here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Oh yeah.
The USDA has shown it's the most cost-effective way to increase crop yield. And so they'll say, like, I think it's 30% increase yield on average using a high tunnel.
Wow.
And that's giving like an extra month at the beginning of the season, an extra month at the end of the season. But really, we think it's more than that, because it's, when we got here, it was 20 degrees outside, and it's 60 degrees in here, 58.
Yeah, it's pretty balmy.
It's pretty balmy,
nice.
And, you might not be able to grow, like, tomatoes and cucumbers all winter long, but you can definitely grow a lot more cold hardy things that are okay with the frost. You can also pair one of these with, some low tunnels with frost cloth and keep a lot more things going. And we're actually working on another product that's a raised bed covering that uses our same roll-up side technology, so you don't have to like unfurl cloth over it every time. You can just roll it up and leave it up if you want, but look at the weather. If frost's coming in, just roll it down super quick on like a raised bed. That even longer than this. Like, it's really easy to roll up the sides on this, so you can go pretty long with a simple mechanism.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's totally, it's so free form. Like, if you wanted to grow stuff year round and you had like a Solex covering and you had, maybe Solex on the sides too, it wouldn't take a lot of heating, probably just overnight to keep the temperature at like 50, 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
if you were feeling real determined. Yeah, I remember I've talked with a few people about you can grow anything in Flagstaff depending on how much effort you're willing to put into keeping them like warm and protected.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, on a practical level, this seems like a really good way to make sure that you're able to produce a decent amount of food.
Yeah. And again, it's a platform that you can start off with a basic structure like this that's just, make your season a little longer. And over time, if you, when you need to change your poly, if you want to upgrade to Solex, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to add heaters over time, you can do that. And so it's just something to build on as you get more serious about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and that made me realize how much our high tunnel protects our plants from like hail, like not just talking about freezes and things, like hail,
physical abuse.
And then keeping the humidity in and everything. Yeah, there's keeping the insects out. We put screens up on our doors, and when everybody else had the grasshoppers decimating their gardens, we at least had the area in the high tunnel where things were not getting eaten to death. So that was really nice.
Yeah, again, like every grower has their own challenges. We just spoke with a woman out in Doney that's like, it's the prairie dogs that harvest their corn for them.
Right.
And it's like, we can put some netting up or something to keep those pests, large, small, whatever they are, out and protect your crops. Because you put so much time and energy and love into these things, and to have something that just wipes it out.
Right.
It's hard.
I know out on the reservation they have a huge problem with pack rats getting into their high tunnels and eating stuff. But getting into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to at least put up some barriers against the rodents is really helpful.
Yeah. And we know in some places around Flagstaff, elk and deer coming in
there's
and
no
trying to
way
nibble
keep them
stuff.
out,
And I feel like the SolarScrim would hold up pretty well because it has that string in there to stop rips from just like totally blowing out a whole panel.
Yeah, and I can't imagine them like getting real aggressive about it either.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully, and as long as they're not super hungry. But yeah, I know people who have like 6-foot fences and they just dance over them. They don't mind at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that is a great way to deal with elk and deer eating your stuff. Could you talk briefly about kind of what size structures you offer?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll kind of go into pricing details.
Yeah, so our smallest one right now is an 8x12, which is what's next door right now. And it can be, all of the widths can be customized to any length because it's pretty much rinse and repeat for all the bows.
Right.
Yeah, 4-foot spacing.
And like per square foot gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper the more you add on, just because the initial material cost gets, standardized as you go down. So 8x12 is the smallest, and then we go up to 10x12, 12x12, 14x16, and then a 20-foot wide by 20-foot long. And then again, all those can go to any length that you want.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And could you talk, I know you can't probably tell me like exact pricing on things, but if somebody wanted to just go with kits and then, if somebody wanted to hire you guys.
So that 8x12 kit is $29.99 before tax and shipping, and to have that installed is $47.99. And so slight increase like that as you go up in the sizes and kits.
20 by 20?
A 20x20, so the biggest one for a kit is $56.99, and then to have that installed is $84.99.
Okay.
And the installs come with a bunch of different warranties that the kit doesn't come with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But all the frames are 10-year warranty, and then we match the manufacturer's warranties for each covering. So for the different poly coverings that we offer, it's 4 years. The Solex is 10 years, and all of our units come standard with a lot of things that other companies charge extra for. So, these rafters or bow supports, we have the corner and peak bracing, the purlins, roll-up sides, door, this SolarScrim, nice metal end wall framing, and
that's lovely. We have wood end wall framing.
Yeah.
It's not holding up real well.
Yeah. Right. And we make it so that if you ever wanted to put a door on the other end, it's actually framed so that it could accept that down the road.
Very nice.
Just to kind of future-proof for everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to include all of that because we went and looked at our competitors and they give you like their base price and then you add
That's
on.
to pull you in.
Yeah, to hook you, and then you're like, I want some roll-up sides. I do want a door actually. I want some bracing, and then it comes out to like more or less just under our number.
Right. That's fantastic, and it's nice. I don't think there's some folks out on the reservation. I think Tyrone Thompson out there.
We've met Tyrone.
He does installations of high tunnels out there. But as far as I'm aware, there isn't anyone in this area that's willing to go ahead and do this for folks. And it is. We have now installed 2 greenhouses ourselves, and it is quite a bit of effort and labor. You need you're going to end up buying tools if you're going to do it yourself.
Right.
So
we like to think that our DIY kit, design and how it translates into, anybody installing them, it's actually way more simple than most other companies. And we've got a picture of all the tools that you need, and it's actually like a lot less.
You can
like
get
you
away
really
with.
Don't need. You need like a drill and some clamps and
wrenches. Like some things are nice, like for these carriage bolts, we use like a socket on an impact driver, but it's like you just had a wrench, like you could do it.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
it's all pretty much bolts and hardware.
Fins fittings pretty much is what a lot of it is. So it makes it like customizable after us as well, so someone can get, fittings or parts and kind of make up their own thing if they want down the line.
Nice.
It's easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to add that we also, have a service kind of side of what we do too. So if you have a greenhouse or tunnel kind of structure, whether it's wood or metal, and need a new covering or some other kind of service on that, like we're willing to come check it out. And we attach all of our poly on our units with this wiggle wire and channel, and we can attach this to just about any frame. and help what you have keep working for you.
Yeah, I'd say anything greenhouse related, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call. Hardware. If you need tubing, want to add bracing to your unit, any kind of coverings, we can get all that sourced for you. Ground coverings too.
Yeah.
Roll-up side comes standard on all our kits, and we're trying to continually improve our design. Like you can see here, it's kind of rolled where it kind of catches the snow and water, so now we actually make it roll the other way so it sheds that really easily. Even with all this kind of snow in there, it's just a simple crank up. You can see these anti-billow ropes that we have on there to keep it from swaying in the wind. And then we just have this simple, rope with some knots in it that you can adjust. Just tuck the handle in there and hold it wherever you need it. We use this double channel for the hip channel, and this makes it so that if you need to replace, say, your top poly before the roll-up sides, you can cut it down the middle and actually replace those independently without having to recover your whole structure. This has the Solex end walls, which again, if you're maybe on a budget and want the Solex on top, we can still do poly end walls, or we can do Solex on everything. And you can see that we actually caulk the flutes on the end, so it kind of captures all the air in there, and that's what helps it have such an high insulating value.
Cool. Would you kind of tell us if somebody was interested in getting one of your kits or wanted to get a hold of you guys about installing them?
Yeah.
How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so again, we are Steady Harvest, and so our website is steady-harvest.com, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And on the website, there's a contact form you can fill out if you just have some questions, want more information, or give us a call. It's on the website as well.
And do you have kits that are like waiting in the wings if someone wanted a standardized kit? Or
not right now, but it'd be about a 2-week lead time to turn around, so still pretty quick.
Yeah, that's not bad, and it's a good time of year to be thinking about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're trying to get that message out right now, is that now's the time to prepare for spring and summer, schedule those installations, or get lined up for a kit.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.